Welcome, boys and girls. Episode 24 of the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show. Tonight on the show we have Jake Reynolds and Kirk Huehn from the old timer squad, now the future Chuck squad. So tonight's show will also be bringing on a guest, like we normally do, and then also our business on as well. So I'm going to bring Donnie to the screen here, and we're going to get started. So,
Jimmy,
what's going on, Donnie?
how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. What's the word?
Good. I like your shirt.
Oh, yeah, I wore it tonight for you.
I have mine right behind me. I can put it on at any second.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, I was having a little issues trying to get on here. It was giving me an error message, so I don't know if it was because I was tagging people or what, but either way, it all worked out, and here we are. So, how did your Thanksgiving go?
Very nice. I tell you what, as an adult, I learned to appreciate that holiday a little bit more. Like, you don't have to do it. There's no responsibilities all day. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. As my wife would say, there's never responsibilities for me. So, but either way, it's a great
Yeah.
holiday.
It's awesome. We just literally watched football and ate some food, and we host at our house, so everyone comes over and brings stuff to us. It's great.
Well, I'm excited about tonight. We have
Yeah.
a packed show, and
Yeah, pretty good show.
I,
Iowa are jumping on, right?
yeah, we got a packed show. I mean, I think that the people that'll be joining us tonight are going to put in some good insight on what's going on with Iowa.
Yeah.
So, that's to me is going to be awesome. And then, obviously our other segments of the show that are always fun. You just never know what's going to happen when you bring a member to the show. So
Yeah.
it's always an awesome time. So
What
hopefully
what did
Jake and Kurt there, they can be on their mobile phones and not on their computers,
yeah.
so that way we don't have any issues bringing them in. So hopefully they, I know that I see there that Jake, it looks like we can bring him in. Kurt, obviously, it looks like he's on a computer, so hopefully he can figure that out. And when we're ready to bring those guys on, we'll be ready to shoot. So why don't we, before we get into what we want to talk about, why don't we say hi to the fans that are out there? I see we're cruising up already to
Yep.
15 people, and I know that number usually tends to join. So why don't you, Donnie, go ahead and say hi to some of the fans in the chat.
Yeah, we got Richie. Big Richie just jumped in the chat. Thank you to Richie. He ex-pitcher for Splash. I actually might still be with the team. I wonder what he's doing for next year. We got Trav jumped in on the stream. Scotty Herdecki and Marty Rubituso just hopped on the stream as well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. I know you see some people that I don't see, but also William Russ just jumped on the chat. A legend in softball already.
William? Yeah. He's unfortunately, I was kind of sad. Last year we didn't get to play our fall ball team together.
Oh yeah, Genera.
Genera, and he's usually the pitcher for us, so it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was fun. Anyways, it's always a good time to be out at Genera Park and doing those things. But
not take it too serious, especially during the fall.
right. So, well, let's talk a little bit about. We mentioned a little bit on Sunday night about the, Thanksgiving tournament and some of the things that went on. So why don't we talk a little bit about, how the tournament went, and then just your comments and your thoughts.
Yeah, the tournament was awesome. So, we did that little drawing on Sunday. We did some drawings for the live. We did a live drawing for the games. Manny runs such an awesome tournament. He put together all the teams. They do kind of like a blind draw in terms of the teams being very even. So everyone's random. You pick out of a hat. It turns out that Pop's team was stacked. I don't know how
Was it?
It was loaded. But Pop's lost in the first round. So it was like upset central over there, Jimmy. It was crazy. His team was stacked. Major players all over the place. High A players. Our team won our first game against Mickey, and it was fun to knock him out of there.
Yeah, I saw that. I had tuned in for one inning, and we usually, unfortunately, I can't play in the tournament because I do a bowling session with me, my kids, my wife, family, some very close buddies of mine, things like that, their families.
Yeah.
and I think this is like the 4th or 5th year we've done it. So it's awesome. You know, we usually go to Payless Bowl and kind of, you know, have a little fun over there, let the kids run around.
Yeah,
so
that's a good time. But
so let's talk about. I know you were quite upset over a situation that actually took place out at the field on Thursday.
yeah,
And I know that just before I give you the mic here, I know that I've been one of those people that have been telling you to go speak to Gio, make up with Gio.
yeah,
Kind of, you know, let's make amends of everything that took place middle of last summer. And I think that you were finally ready to do that. And why don't you kind of take it over from there?
yeah. You know, I saw that he was going to come do our game. He did a little live stream on the way to the field. Said he was going to do one of the early games. You know, we still support. We watch the streams, and you know, he was standing out there by himself. And I went up to him and I said, "Gio, happy Thanksgiving. You know, how's everything going? Hopefully, everything's going well." You know, went to shake his hand, and you know, unfortunately, Jimmy, he didn't really give me the light of day. He said good, and barely, you know, shook my hand, and he kind of walked away from me after that. So, you know, I went over to shake his hand and try to make some amends, but he's still not having it, unfortunately, Jim.
Well, you know, I mean, here's the thing I always say. I mean, you know, obviously Gio's upset for some reason. You know, he is what he is. You know, we always said he does good things for the game with live streaming and other things. But in this situation, I think you did what was right for yourself, and that's all you can control.
Yeah.
I mean, you went over there to make amends and try to put everything behind us, and it is what it is. I mean, at this point, I think we move on, and what else can you do?
Tried, right? I tried to went over there, and I was like, I was standing next to Chris Jordan. I was like, oh, let me go say hi to Gio really quick, and even he was like, oh, have you talked to him since? And I was like, no, I'm gonna go give it a try.
You
And
felt like you were ready.
Yeah.
I know you, because I know when all that went down, I know a lot of people, like, we had a show about it and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but I knew, like, off camera and stuff like that, you were pretty upset about the whole situation. And just because I know that you really like live streaming games, and, you know, a lot of the things that went on in that situation just didn't really go in your favor,
Yeah.
per se.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is.
It was like talking to an ex-girlfriend. Like when I was like, man, you know what? Let me get the courage to talk to her. You know, it's been a while, but yeah, unfortunately, he didn't take my my conversation too well. And this isn't to, like, again, we don't want to bash anybody out here, but you know, I just want to put it out there that we're still trying to kind of mend the relationship, but maybe it takes a little bit more, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think over time, I think shit will blow over.
Yeah.
But for right now, I mean, that's all we can do, you know. And I mean, you know, I always talk. I don't really talk to Gio, but I talk to Patty. I check in with Patty once a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every 10 days, I always check on him, see how he's doing, things like that. You know, I respect Patty. I think Patty does a great job. We always talk about that with the SSA and what they do. And I mean, shit, we have people from the SSA on our show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for us to bash them, it's not really what we're trying to do. But sometimes they take it the wrong way, and maybe Gio just kind of misunderstands what you're trying to do and move forward. But
yeah,
at this point, I mean, it is what it is, and I'm not going to get upset over it, and I don't think either should you, you know?
Yeah, and I was talking to Mickey, and he's like, well, you did your job, and, you know, it's kind of on him to, and he wants to talk to me. I will obviously absolutely welcome that. Yeah, like I said, it was like an ex. Uh-oh.
I muted you. I muted myself. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, and like I said, that's all you could really do.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll move forward, and hey, man, I just give you credit for going over there and trying to make amends, and maybe he'll come back, and who knows, maybe one day Gio will be on our show.
That would be the Mecca. That would be the best show we ever had.
You never know. I mean, could you imagine the debates between Gio and I? It'd be tremendous.
It would be awesome.
But, you know, hey, I mean, it's his opinion. You know, it's our opinion. It is what it is.
I love the comment section. Robbie Gersano, John Ryan Doss, Kevin Norris joining Splash again for the 4th year in a row, but is not going to go play.
Right.
Marty chiming in. Love to see it. Thank you guys for the support in the comment section as always. Jimmy, why don't you talk about the 8 tournament coming up this weekend?
Yeah, before we bring on the Iowa guys, why don't we do that? We have an 8 tournament, 8 teams. I don't even want to call it an 8 tournament. It's just it's the next 8 teams that we invited to come out and play in the Dome. I think like Meatball City, Menace, and Sauce, they really stepped up from the last time we had an event. I know 3 of the major teams couldn't make it out last time. So it was something that I think that was awesome for them. And, I told them that they were always invited to the second one just because they played the first one. I wasn't going to punish them. So those guys are coming out. So obviously, thank you for the support. And then we have, Menace Sauce. We have Fat Kids that'll be joining us out there. We have Goodwood.
Yep.
That'll be joining us. Shooters will be joining us. And
Iron.
I'm forgetting an Iron. Well, we call it No Joke. So,
and then Ronald's team.
I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. And what are they calling themselves? I don't have it in front of me. I can't think of what they're calling themselves. Oh, Smoke.
Smoke. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a competitive field. I don't see any one team that's going to outshoot the others. I think it'll be wide open, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, for those that haven't played, make sure that every team brings a ball. That's a must. I already have the umpires locked up and ready to go. And then also for the field, we will be hitting on the field. What I did for the first tournament is I gave them 7 minutes, and it seemed to work perfect. I think everyone was warmed up. The time slots, majority of the time after that first game, some of the teams don't even bother to hit, some do. Yeah. It just depends on how long they were waiting. Yeah. So that's the cool thing about how the time slots work. Unfortunately, there's always going to be one team, no matter how you do it, that's going to have to wait 2 or 3 hours. So the winner of that 9 o'clock game, unfortunately, which it was you guys last time, you guys went out and got something to eat and came back. Yeah. Or they can, bring a cooler, sit and watch softball. And, I know you'll be on the mic, and I'll be on the mic with you a little bit that night. We'll be live streaming games. And I think it's going to be a fun night. And so that's BILB, just please respect the place. I don't want gum all over the place. I don't want seeds on the field. Last tournament, like I said, everyone was very respectful. If people want to hit in the cages, fine, but just, clean up the baseballs and other things that are in the cages. So I have all confidence in the world that this group's going to be as good as the first group. So I should have absolutely no worries there.
I agree. I think it's going to be a good time. There's a lot of even teams, kind of like we did the major. Pretty much everybody even out there. I thought it was a good time, and it's good to see Sauce going back, because I know Brian Sloan was telling me he just wants to be invited more. That's something he said to me. He's like, man, hopefully it's a good look for us to play in this, because I want to be invited more. And look, he's in the next tournament you host, so that's really cool on him.
Yep. So can't wait for the big announcement. I think Richie already missed it, but that's okay.
Richie, you'll just have to watch it back.
Yeah. But are you ready to bring these guys on?
Yeah, bring them on. We'll talk to them. We'll try to bring someone on, and we got some rumor mill actually this week, Jim.
We do.
We have a little bit of rumor mill.
Nice.
All right. Look at this. Look how it's so nice. So easy.
Hey, Donnie, so, I went out to Jake's gym over the course of this summer, and I just embarrassed him in the gym. So so he has to be nice to me to come on the show now.
Yeah.
I was lifting 50 pounds. He was lifting 500 pounds. But we're not going to talk about that, all right?
Yeah, you're good.
Jake, do you run like a fitness center or gym?
Yeah, it's like powerlifting, strongman,
awesome.
General fitness gym. Yep.
That's awesome. You see some big dudes in there.
Couple.
Yeah.
Jimmy's the biggest, probably. Jimmy's probably the biggest.
Idiot.
Hey, Donnie, just to let you know, I would shake your hand if I saw you. So
you'd probably break my fucking hand if you tried to shake it.
Whatever.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So how's our man over here joining the show? Look at him, all technology swag.
Good.
Hopping right on.
Jumped on my phone and we're good to go. I had to ask my kid how to do it, but I'm good, buddy.
That's right, you're on. So, I appreciate both you guys joining us tonight. I know you guys had a meeting. Obviously, we want to talk a little bit about the meeting of what the Iowa SSA board did, and just kind of jump into, what that's all about. I think you guys got some exciting news for those Iowa teams. And then well, Donnie and I will share later that we've kind of already talked to somebody from the 12-inch world.
Yeah.
So, but why don't you guys jump right in? I don't know, Jake, Kurt, whatever you guys want to do.
Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, we met a couple weeks ago. Had the majority of our board at the meeting. We joined a meeting in Marshalltown, and we had our main topics that we wanted to cover was getting out what our schedule is going to look like for 2024. A couple changes. We used to run what we called an A qualifier, where we had paid bids to the SSA A Nationals that the SSA gave us, and then we had a pretty lucrative prize money package for the top 4 placing teams in that tournament.
Okay.
We went away from that this year. The tournament just didn't really take off like we had hoped it would as far as number of teams. We had 10, 9, and 9 in the 3 years we ran it. And I'll let Jake talk about one of the changes that we made is we're going to go to a point system this year, so that those A teams can still get or qualify for a paid bid and still win some money to help cover some of their travel expenses as they attend that SSA A Nationals, which last year Iowa had 6 teams that participated in that the SSA A Nationals over in Crystal Lake. So that's up from the number of teams that we've ever had before. So we felt like the A tournament that we ran accomplished it on that end. We really felt we needed to get to about 14, 16 teams to justify the amount of money it was costing us. So that, and then we talked at length again about clear conduct. Last year, we ran basically 3 events, and after those events, all but the last one, we had to have emergency meetings the following week to talk about guys and their eligibility because of the way they acted on or off the field. And so we're really hoping the team managers step up this year and the players themselves, and we get some of that stuff cleaned up. Because like you guys, you do this for fun. We're all volunteers. The last thing we want to do is have to suspend guys, but yet we also got a product that we're putting out on the field, and guys got to adhere to some of the rules that we have. So I'll just go real quick with our 4 tournaments that we're going to run this year, and then I'll let Jake talk about the point system. We ran a tournament the first year that COVID kind of hit, and I know we got some Illinois teams because you guys weren't cleared to play over there. We ran that in Fairfax, which is just outside of Cedar Rapids.
Right.
We'll run that one again. That weekend is May 18th, 19th. Jimmy, your group always comes out, your team Jagoff comes out to the clincher in Marshalltown. I know some of the flashback guys, some of the signature guys have been out of that in the past. Those are both open rosters. So if there's Illinois teams that want to throw something together, if you can't get your whole team to come, we certainly welcome that. It's early enough in the year that we don't think we need to pin it down to a rostered event. Guys are just trying to get out, get swings, get into the game, and so that they're peaking at the right times at the end of the year. So if there's a group of guys that aren't on the same team, feel free to throw a team together and jump in on that one.
Now,
And this year we're doing something
really
a little bit
quick,
different.
you
We're
mentioned
partnering with the
Fairfax.
Cedar Rapids Hall of Fame.
Kurt, Fairfax is what weekend you said?
May 18th and 19th.
So, okay, that's the same weekend I think we run Westchester,
I think
right?
you're right. I think we've ran into that conflict before.
Okay.
Yeah. They run a lot of Little League baseball tournaments out there, so we get a choice of about 2 weekends.
Right.
And so that was the one we chose this year.
Okay.
In July 13th and 14th, the ISSA is going to partner with the Cedar Rapids Hall of Fame. They run a tournament every year. It's their biggest, it's a fundraiser that they have. Their biggest fundraiser is their golf tournament. But again, that's one. Cedar Rapids is a short drive for the Chicago teams. And if they want to come over, that'll again be open roster. We're not going to limit it to that one. And the Cedar Rapids Hall of Fame, they get all their Hall of Fame members out there. They're wearing red shirts. They do a bang up job with how they run that event. It's in a kind of a cozy little park with just 3 fields. So there's a lot of fans that come out and watch, and it's a great time. They got the grills going, they got cold beer, and guys that have played it before. I know Ray Zarnick's brought the shooters groups out there in the past, and so I think Iron's been there a time or two, and years ago, Binge, Entourage, that different teams that those guys were involved, they'd come out to that one. So, and then the last one, this one is a roster tournament. That's our state tournament, and we're actually going to run that one there. We ran it at Marshalltown the last several years. We're going to move it down to some new fields, a new complex in Norwalk, which is just south of Des Moines, and that'll be August 2nd through the 4th. So.
Oh, nice. Nice. Don, do you have any questions for those?
Sounds like an awesome list of events. What's the one that you guys look forward to the most?
I'm from Marshalltown. I've always liked the clincher.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the first bigger tournament of the year. It's usually 20-plus teams.
Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah. That's my what I look forward
the
to.
one plus thing though that we didn't say for the Norwalk tournament is that those fields are all turf too.
Nice.
Yep.
So like, you know, and I know we'd love to have the option to bring nationals back to Iowa at some point. So it's kind of our test run to see how that works, you know, and reach back out and try and get nationals there. You know, we'd love to have nationals every 4 or 5 years if we could back in Iowa. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a new facility. You know, my kid played baseball there a couple times last year. It's huge. You know, it's a great spot. So tons to do around there.
They got
South side of Des Moines.
retractable fences, so we can put them at any distance we need to. And the guy that's actually running that park used to play 16-inch, and he's excited to try to get teams down there and show off his park, as well as try to attract a national tournament down there. So, and it's a great spot because it's right near Des Moines, so there's plenty of hotel rooms. There's a lot of stuff to do for the people that, you know, the wives that are coming. They're not stuck at the ballpark all weekend. There's things to do. They got an indoor swimming pool down there for the kids, and so.
Nice.
Yeah, no.
I'll mention one other event real quick. We don't actually run this one, but one of our board members does. It's Father's Day weekend. It's the Carroll Open. It was the Bud Open for 40-plus years, or for 40 years, actually. And after 40 years, the guy that ran it kind of stepped aside. And then Travis I and his group in Carroll, Iowa, have picked up the slack and have ran that now, I think, for the last 2 years. This will be their third year. But that's generally a 20-plus team tournament. I know Timmy Kornikowski's come over and played with Chuck's before. Mercado's come over and played with us, and those guys love that atmosphere over there. So, again, if there's a Chicago team that has an open week and they're looking for a spot to play, I know Travis would welcome the Chicago teams to come that one too.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of good things about Carroll. You know, with us, handful of us going to Yuma and then making your clincher, or what you're going to call it, the classic, the first week of June. It kind of runs. It's like it gets tough. Yeah, it gets to be a lot. It gets tough. You know, the one thing about that Clincher Classic I want to talk to you about, Donnie and I spoke to Kelly today, and we spoke to Kelly from the USSSA, and we actually got good news. So there is no events in 12-inch that weekend. So she is actually going to come. We tried to get her on the show tonight. She originally said she was going to come on and meet you guys, and then she forgot it was her husband's birthday. So I don't want to throw her under the bus, but she's going to be on the show next week, and we're going to try to do like an every 2-month update with her. When we originally interviewed her the first time, just to kind of stay with her. She's got some announcements on the 12-inch side that I know people that are following us from there, from Kansas City area and so on, are watching. So she wants to kind of just give us an update on the 12-inch, and then also talk a little bit about the amount of teams she can get to come to that clincher. So hopefully, even if she gets, you know, like we talked about offline, 2 or 3 teams, I think that'd be an awesome way to start, and then you know how it grows. So
that would be great.
Yeah, we're more than willing to accommodate any team. You know, with like scheduling too. You know, for you guys when you come over, you know, it's like, hey, if we know you're coming from 3 hours away, we won't schedule you, you know, Friday night if you can't make it. If you want a Friday night, great, because the atmosphere is actually really good Friday night too. You know, but so we will definitely try to schedule those out of town teams. Like you might play Saturday morning early, but you know, we'll definitely try. And it's cheap. We'll probably on that note too, like the Marshalltown Softball Association has always ran that tournament. You know, and then the ISSA the last couple of years has always jumped in to help out. Well, now the MSA board is kind of looking to kind of change it out, and I think the ISSA or me and some other guys will take it over and make sure it still goes no matter what, so it's still going to be the same tournament. We might change the name a little bit, nothing crazy, but it'd still be the Clincher Classic. But we'd like to possibly, if we did take it over, maybe in memorial of Joe Court, who passed away. He was the Hall of Fame concessionaire, and been involved in 6-inch softball for 30 plus years, so we'd love to show a little, appreciation and, love back towards him and his family too. So that's one thing we're thinking of doing there too, which will be, I think, pretty cool,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I'll jump into my next question, and I know Donnie's got one more too. So for Iowa, you guys mentioned this point system. Mm-hmm. You want to talk a little bit about how that's going to work?
Yeah. So, when we did the A tournament, basically, what was it, Crack? We did two top two teams got a bid to the A Nationals, right?
And that was paid by the SSA.
Correct. And then we had top 4 teams got paid. At first place still got like maybe $1,000.
Yeah,
like for a 10 team tournament, So we were putting all this money into this tournament, and just like he said, we didn't see the teams playing, and it was costing us $2,000-$3,000 just to run this tournament.
Right.
And so we're looking for ways.
What we lost. Yeah.
Right. So we were thinking of ways to get more teams involved in every tournament. So, we kind of always mold over this idea of a point system. So what we're gonna do is, if a team plays, doesn't matter if you're an open team, major team, an A team, you get 5 points just for playing in that tournament. Okay.
Yep.
If there's 20 teams, first place gets 20 points. Second place will get 19 points, all the way down to last place. We'll figure out the O2, all that. We'll divide all that up. So, on a 20-team tournament, you're getting 25 points. 20 points for winning and 5 points for just playing in the tournament. So an A team is going to get rewarded just for playing in the tournament, even if they didn't win a game. Where if some of the other A teams don't play at all, they don't get any points. So all those points will add up, and then when we go into our state tournament, that's our seed. That's our seeding for the state tournament. We had some issues like, how do we seed? How do we make it fair? Do we do a blind draw for the state tournament? Do you reward the teams for showing up and playing? So that's kind of how we're going to seed the tournament. But then also off of that, when we have that cutoff date for our, classification for who's A and who's major, we're going to have the top A team, second place A team will still have a chance to win money just based off of points. So instead of putting our money into that tournament, we're just putting our money into this point system, and they're still going to get rewarded for playing in more tournaments. So that's kind of the goal for the point system, and we'll see how it works. I think, it seems like it'll work.
Yeah, so back in the day, ASA used to do this when ASA was the only organization running. They used to do a point system, but they did it a little differently. It was based on, I think they used to get qualifying bids and make it into the national.
Okay.
So I guess my question to you is let's say, are you going to have a cutoff for people to play in your state qualifier? So what I mean is if they don't hit a certain point threshold, are they going to be not able to play in the state?
Everybody will still be available. You can still play no matter what. It's just you'll be if you have 0 points, you're just not seeded. You're at the bottom. So you're just going to get rewarded for playing in a tournament. That's it.
Right.
Everybody's you can still play. Yeah. We're not letting anybody play the game.
Okay.
My question is going to be, how do you keep guys motivated to play that may not have a ton of points? But it sounds like everyone gets in anyway.
There's going to be a pool of money. There'll be a pool of money out there that we used to pay out in prize money in that what we call an A qualifier. So hopefully there's some motivation from that, and then just your seeding at state tournaments. So the more points events you play, the more points, the less likely are you playing one of the top 4 seeds or something in the first round.
Yeah, that's
fantastic. It's cool because it sounds like it's a different idea, and hey, man, that's what this is about. You're up trying new ideas, trying to make the game better.
That's the nice thing about kind of being independent like we are. we're able to take it, suggestions from others if they make sense, and we can incorporate into what we're trying to do.
Right.
And try some different things. If this is what the players are looking at, heck yeah, let's give it a run and see how it goes for a year.
Yeah.
You guys talked about the surge of Iowa teams in A Nationals last year. Team ended up winning A Nationals from Iowa.
Yep.
Will the teams acquire points from playing in out-of-state tournaments, or is it kind of the stuff that you guys put together in Iowa?
We haven't really discussed that, Donnie, but it's a good point. At this time, we're just going to limit it to the events that we do. Because in the past, really, unless it changes dramatically this year, the only real teams that traveled over to Illinois to play were Chuck's Hall of Fame and Old Timer. Now, if an A team, I know there's a couple different A event, no glove events over there. If a couple teams would go and play in that and place high, we may not incorporate the points into it, but maybe use that as some kind of a tiebreaker.
Sure.
We have not crossed that bridge, though, quite honestly. So that's a good point to bring up.
Yeah. No,
Always paying attention. Look at you. I'm always paying attention.
We need you to come to our meetings, man.
You guys,
no.
We're looking for somebody to live stream our sponsors. And fortunately, we've been really blessed. We've sold banners, and we've had really good support from businesses and individuals that are fans of softball. The one area that we, as a board, know we need to improve on is getting more games live stream from our Facebook page at these tournaments, because I know there's a couple guys that they kick in money and they want to see stuff on the live stream because they're busy and they maybe can't get out to the event, but they still like to kind of keep in the loop as to what's going on. So my son's 16, going to be 17 next year. We're talking to him maybe to see if he can live stream some stuff during the day and see if we can do a better job of getting those games on the Facebook page for people to watch.
I mean, because no, I was just gonna say because Iowa doesn't have many leagues, right? You guys are mostly tournaments.
Yeah, the leagues are so spread out. Like Cedar Rapids has a league. There's a league in Des Moines. There's a league in Marshalltown, and Carroll has a league. And so, and league is, I don't know. I haven't played league for probably 15 years. Jake, you could speak to it better than I can, but it's
watered down.
It's really watered down, and guys don't take it all that serious. Half the time, you're struggling to get guys to show up, and
Interesting.
I don't live really in proximity to play a league. I'm 2+ hours from Marshalltown, 90 minutes from Des Moines, and so I haven't played league for a number of years.
Yeah. Donnie, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I don't remember. Must not have been that important, Jim.
He said he's gonna come out and live stream some of our tournaments when he's busy. Not busy.
I was gonna say, Jim, if we're ever in the area, I know we're gonna go back to see some of those 12-inch teams come out and play, because we've kind of pushed so hard for those teams to go out. We'll go watch those. If I'm ever in the area, I'd be happy to stream games for you guys.
Oh yeah. So hopefully Donnie will be able to come down with Team Jagoff that first weekend of June, and maybe he'll be able to get on the mic.
31st through June 2nd.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. We'd be able to.
Hey, can he hang?
I talked to RB, the owner of the Old Timer, and he said, "Make sure you stay thirsty, Jimmy."
Okay, can Donnie hang with Team Jagoff?
No.
He's too nice of a kid. That's okay, but
we'll
call him Team Jagoff Jr. All right.
All right.
He'll be on the junior team. All right.
Thanks, Jake, for that new title.
So Donnie's too young, unfortunately. He'll definitely. I mean, hopefully, Donnie, it works with your schedule. I know they want us to head to, I think, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
For some 12-inch stuff. So we kind of got that marked on the calendar, too. I think that's later in the month. That might be a family trip for us, though. Bring the families. But, we'll definitely try to make it work. I know I'll be there. I know we've already got it planned on my schedule. I'm going to start building our team, which is usually the same group of guys, as you guys know. It doesn't really change too much. So, we have a blast every single year. Old Timers is a great time. And then the field atmosphere, as you guys talked about earlier, it's just it's just something different. I love that part.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of Iowa's 16-inch mecca, in my opinion. There's a lot of nationals that have been played there back in the day, ASA nationals, but it's a great park, like you said,
Oh,
good atmosphere.
Absolutely. So, Donnie, do you have any questions about how these? Okay.
These guys did a really nice job of explaining the changes, and I think people will follow. And hopefully, it's something that kind of establishes itself as something that's competitive, so that maybe it gets adapted down here or up here.
Yeah. So before I let you guys go, I got a couple questions. I want to talk a little bit about Major Ball because I know that you guys make the trip down quite often to Chicago. What's those plans next year for the trip down? Have you guys discussed that yet, or is it even capability? I know you guys come down usually for North-South, and I know you guys come down for Major Nationals, Forest Park. So are you just going to go 5 for 5 next year and come down for all 5 events?
I'd like to say that's 100% done deal.
Yeah.
With combining with Old Timer and Chuck's this year, which I don't have any news to release that, the final roster yet. We're still trying to work through some of that.
We
I
needed
was gonna say
that.
I didn't get my call today. I'm not sure.
I know in the preliminary talks, when Harold and I were talking with Drew Lotting and a couple other guys on their team, the talk was definitely try to come to, probably 3 or 4 strictly no glove events in addition to the major nationals. So with that, I would say depending upon when the weekends fall, but north south, the Midsummer Classic,
Right.
and then see what the schedule looks like if there's anything earlier in May. Or if there's anything in August, because we're pretty light on the schedule in August in Iowa.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's talk about making more trips over there and playing more no glove softball with in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. That's great to hear. I think, we always welcome you guys with open arms. Try to do what we can to accommodate you guys. I know you guys drive far. So I know that'll be an awesome thing. And not only that, but also for the SSA events that they run and then, the Diney Atkins event that he runs. I'm sure he loves having you guys in town. And so do we. I think it's just cool to play new teams, right? So
yeah, we were going to try to get to that one, your first dome tournament you had, and then I think you had to change weekends or something.
Yeah, because
and then we had
construction.
a few guys that didn't work out. So we'd like to try to get out there if you have another one of those this winter.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, it's funny you ask or funny you bring it up. I'm probably going to do a pool play event. So what means that when you guys come down, you guys will play like 3 games in one night.
Mm-hmm.
And then, unfortunately, you'd have to come back and play again for the single elimination tournament, which would be in one night if you qualify.
Sure.
So I think what I'm going to do is do 4 pools. So basically, be 16 teams. And every pool, the top 3 teams make the playoffs. Or I might do top 2. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet. And then you'll play for money. And that's really what it comes down to because I can keep the cost at a minimum. And I think, the cool thing is at least you're coming for 3 games, right?
Right.
It's guaranteed. The single elimination one would be just depends on, I would probably make that on a Friday night like I was going to do this last one for you guys. And we'll just make it on a weekend that works for everybody. Usually weather permitting, of course, in the winter. But
right.
Knock on wood, we've actually had some pretty calm winters these last couple of years. So hopefully it stays that way.
We've had snow already. I don't know what this winter's going to look. We didn't have no rain this summer, but it's already snowed over here. So.
If not, I got Donnie. Donnie will be shoveling the snow off that dome, so don't worry about it.
For $0 an hour.
Just donate his time. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He just donates time. So, Donnie, if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to ask these guys my final question, and we can let them go.
Yeah, really quick before we do that, we have a couple of cool comments. Wade Daniel says Jake is a beast on whatever he does, man. TJ said you're gonna make it, Jake. Some cool comments and stuff for the guys at Iowa. So thanks for bringing the audience into the show.
Yeah,
I definitely, guys, appreciate that. Obviously, our main goal is always to make softball better, and that kind of leads me right into my question with you, Kurt. I mean, we've already asked Jake this before, but if you want to chime in, go right ahead. If you were to change one thing in softball right now, I guess just at the major level, what would it be in general?
I'm gonna show my age here because I'm in my mid to late 50s. But the thing that's really been the most disappointing to me the last few years is the conduct of us as players. I truly, we struggle to get umpires in Iowa, and the reason is because we act like jagoffs,
Yeah.
and they can go do little kids softball and baseball and not get yelled at. So I'd really like to see us clean up our act a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's funny because you mentioned jagoffs. I think one of you guys were yelling at us a couple years ago in the Classic, and I don't know, we were there, and I'm like, you guys can't read our shirts, we're jagoffs, and everyone started laughing. So it's funny you say that because you're 100% right. With umpires, we've talked about this on previous shows. Yeah, I think we need to calm it down a little bit, but they also need to do a little bit better job of showing some hustle. I mean, hey, man, we're not paying them $20 anymore. Those days are long gone.
And that's a valid point for sure. Yeah.
So and that's the one thing that if they're demanding $45 and $50 a game, then they need to understand that they're going to get yelled at once or twice. And not only that, but they should at least hustle. That's the one thing. If they hustle and blow a call, I think every single player in the game would be like, listen, he got out there, he missed it, but he hustled. Yeah. He was in the right spot.
I got no problem with questioning umpires' calls. Right. We had an incident last year. I don't want to belabor the point, but it was off the field and there were threats made, and there's no place for that kind of stuff. But I totally agree. If the money we're paying them, be in position and be confident in your call, and you'll eliminate a lot of the issues that come about.
Now, Iowa umpires, do they actually go to like schooling or certification or anything to be an umpire? Anymore. Or is it just kind of
no, not anymore. Not for softball. Yeah. They do for baseball, youth baseball, but that's it.
Yeah.
I think all the other stuff for like high school and youth baseball, I think it's all online. There's clinics they can go to, but I don't think they're required to go to them.
Right.
And, honestly, right now with some of our tournaments, man, if you can fog a mirror, we're taking you. Because like our A tournament last year, fortunately, we had a bunch of guys from the Hall of Fame team, players that came over and umped, and honestly, the players are some of our best umpires.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I know Robbie and Kurt and a couple of the guys in softball now.
They came out and did the A this year. Yeah.
And Mike
Marola, they came out and helped out umpire in the A.
And I hear that they do a really good job. So it's
I watched those guys ump, and they control the game, and keep it moving.
I mean, like I said, you're going to miss calls. I mean, shit, they missed it at the major league level, right? Yeah. I mean, that's why they invented replay.
We don't have replay, unfortunately.
Right. Well, if Gio's live streaming, we should. One challenge a game. That would really piss you. Gio, sorry, you got to rewind. We got a challenge.
We're going to go down to the tent with Gio and see what we saw.
Jimmy, imagine if I challenged the call.
Oh. Probably. Well, right now it's not good, but we're gonna fix that, Donnie.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Hey.
So, but we're gonna get Mickey Blastry Jr. to go over there with you and fix that.
I'm sure that
you guys
that'll go really well.
Yeah. But So that being said, that's awesome, guys. I appreciate you guys' time. Is there any questions for Donnie or I that before we let you guys go? Anything you guys want to ask us?
No, just thanks. Thanks for having us on and keep up the good work, guys. You're helping keep the game. Interesting.
I do want to shout out before you. I want to say to the other teams, the teams that are sitting around that A, they need to come out and start playing the major ball. Stop sitting in the A and come out and play the big boy ball. That'll help the game too.
I love it.
Like, we got to.
Yes, I love the comment. They got to step up, and that's how they get better, right? I mean, you don't get better playing against competition that's yourself or lower. You get better by playing the better guys. I mean, when I was younger, you're going out in the field and you're playing Hall of Famers. You got to play better. It's just the way it's the way of life. But
you knew you're going to get your ass kicked, but that made you get better. Now nobody just wants to get their ass kicked. No, so get out there and play. Get your ass kicked and take your lumps and get better. You know?
And if they don't want to play, we'll send your ass after them, right?
Fuck them. Let's get them.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, you're going to be my bodyguard Friday night at Old Timers, all right, Jake?
Yeah.
So,
thank you guys very much for coming on.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
And we'll be in touch. Tune in next week. We're gonna have Kelly on, and we're gonna totally bring up the Clincher Classic. So
yeah,
we're all good about that.
Hey, like I said, whatever we got to do to help out, I'm here. You know, make it easy for the teams any way we can. Make that tournament, bigger and bring more people in. So, hell yeah,
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Sure.
Right on.
Hey guys, awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Later, man. See ya.
What's up, Don?
I like the point system. I like the point system a lot.
The point system's really cool. I mean, I know he touched a little bit with it yesterday, and then he got into full details today. I think it's cool. It kind of forces, they want to get more teams committed, and I think it's a great thing for them.
I agree. Gets people to want to play and get points and not have to get your butt kicked in the very first round of a big tournament because you didn't do anything throughout the year.
Yeah, and right, exactly. I mean, think about it. The more games you play in those tournaments, I mean, you don't have to run into a Chuck's.
Yeah.
You don't have to run into some of those bigger teams in Iowa, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
Probably run those tournaments, those big teams, because they play the most and they play against competition here. And I'm curious to see what the team name is going to be when they put those two together.
Yeah, I think they probably. I gotta think they're going to probably keep Chuck's or Old Time. I mean, it'll be one of those two, I would think, right?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Drew. Maybe for next week we ask Drew what they're thinking because they'll probably have some answers by then. But when they put those two teams together, they're going to be so good. Yeah,
I know Drew got in a little trouble the last time he joined our show. So I don't know. I don't know what. We'll see if we can get him back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who do we have pinned for the second guest tonight, Jim?
Our second guest is the crowd. So I believe last time I picked.
Yeah.
So tonight is your choice. So you get in there, or did you pick last time?
I think last time we had Manny on that I picked.
Okay. So it's my chance to pick.
Also, did Tommy answer about coming on for the business?
Tommy, unfortunately, Tommy said not tonight.
Okay.
So, but that's okay because I'm going to go ahead and look in this chat here and see who we got out there.
We have someone out there that has business that wants to talk about it, right?
I mean, eventually we'll have somebody, right? So I'm not really too worried.
Producer Kyle is watching. Popz Alejandro, Coach Peter Krell. Jimmy, if you want to look for somebody and invite them, you can. Robbie Grissom commenting, love to see it. Use a point system for no gloves, so when you don't have to hear and see everyone cry on Facebook about not being invited. There you go. Get some points throughout the year for your team to get like a bye.
I'm gonna look for Brian Sherwin. He's let's see if he'll be able to join.
I love Brian.
I'm gonna pick him because I believe Brian is the new member of the circus team, right?
He played out there in your dome with them in left field. St. Pat's guy. I know him very well. Yeah, just a solid player, and kind of want to hear his thoughts about maybe Dynasty and how they're going to look for next year and what the transition's like to Circus. That would be a really nice one to have him on.
I don't know. I mean, obviously just throwing it out there, so maybe he might need a minute or two, but hopefully he accepts our invite, and we'll see what he says. I'm going to send the invite out to him now.
Be cool.
And maybe he might not be in an area where he can hop on the show, which obviously we totally respect and understand.
We don't respect that at all. If we send you an invite, Jim, if we send you an invite and you say no, you got problems.
That's very true. That's a good point.
We can always bring Popz on.
Well, I just sent the invite to Sherwin. Let's see if he accepts it.
This looks like a hair.
I was with Nick. I saw Nick at a party on Saturday. Actually, I was with him at a couple parties over the weekend. Didn't really get a chance to talk to him too much. But Nick would be a good guy to bring on. He's very funny. And I think he does some things up by his home turf out there with some park balls. So I know he runs a tournament.
Okay.
There's Joe Krasny right there too. Are we able to bring Popz on? I don't mind bringing Popz on. He's probably high somewhere.
Popz, he's functioning though. He's a functional guy.
Yeah, I know, but he's not on. He must not be on his phone.
Popz.
Oh, there he is. I just sent Popz the invite, so let's see if he answers. And there he is.
What's up, boys?
Oh, are you at the Hawks game?
No, I'm at home.
You just wear winter hats.
Dude, I love the Hawks right now.
So Popz, I brought you on for many reasons.
What's up?
How you doing, my man?
I'm good. How was your Thanksgiving, guys?
Good. No complaints here. Family, kids, fun, wife, all the good stuff.
Good.
So,
Good.
one of the, I saw that you were the top shortstop on the Big Ballers Association. I have to ask you this question: how many times you vote?
Who, me? I only got to vote
He
once.
goes, who, me?
I only got to vote once.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I would have kept clicking my name.
Yeah, Popz would have had 400 votes.
Just about.
Popz, that's got to be pretty cool for you to see, like, at the top.
With the best shortstops? It is pretty cool. I mean, I've been playing a long time. Always been kind of underrated, I mean, but it's okay. I mean, I just come in for anyone.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And you're kind of known throughout all the parks because you've been around and played all over the place. That's probably why, you get so much love that you do, Popz, is because everyone knows who you are.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to find guys who love to play softball like me and go park to park to park. And
Yep.
I mean, now that I'm older, I don't like to do that no more. But back then it was fun, driving everywhere to go play softball.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure. So talk a little bit about your meatball team. What are you most excited about with that team?
Well, they're young guys, and honestly, they play hard. I know me and Mikey and like Eric are kind of our veterans on the team. A little bit of JR too. He's been playing a long time. I played with JR back on No Fear, so I was actually kind of happy to have him back, with me again. I was like, all right, it's cool. But other than that, I like our team. Looks, everyone's positive. We all play hard.
Tell me a little bit about the short center that you picked up, or maybe the third baseman?
Jack Harrigan.
Circus? Yeah.
Yeah, Jack. I actually seen him play last year, and I was a real big fan of him. I seen that he played hard. He's, he just hits the fuck out the ball too. I seen a little bit of him on Circus as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to watch him that much. But when I seen him play last year at Westchester, I was like, man, this could be really nice on our team.
Right.
But I was with Hacks last year, so I couldn't have said that.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but my guy Tommy Higgins just joined the chat. What's up, Mr. Higgins? That's my guy from Heck. Sorry, I had Donnie jump in there.
How is Tommy? He's not with you guys no more?
No, he is. He's on us. He's just taking a little bit of a step back. He just had a second kid, so I think we'll see him more than he thinks, but we'll see,
He's a scary guy at the plate, Tom Higgins.
Good.
You don't know what that guy's going to do.
No, you don't.
You don't.
Just don't let my guy run the bases, though. All right?
Like, he got those big hands
He's
down
got to
there.
learn like Uncle Jimmy. Get the first or second and call for the courtesy runner.
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy, you hit it, man. That's good. You're still fucking rolling.
But yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about you, Popz. We brought you to the show. All right. So you mentioned Meatball City, Donnie. Do you have any questions? I know that's a team. Well, one of the teams you used to play for before they cut your ass.
Yeah, they cut me. Got a lot better. Actually, Popz wasn't on the team when I was with Meatball City. He was with you guys, I believe, Jimmy. And then you cut him, and then he went to Meatball City.
Oh, okay. No, we didn't cut him.
No, he didn't.
On his own. But
Just kidding, of course.
It was hard to play softball knowing that my brother's running the team, I know a lot of brothers can't play with each other, but it's different, man, knowing that my brother's doing this, and it's like, man, what am I doing playing with other teams and I'm not playing my brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best. I'm blessed enough to talk to Joel like every day, and he always talks about how positive that you've kind of become. Like I feel like before, you would get on your teammates a little bit hard, and you've kind of turned things around. It's cool to see, Popz.
I'll be honest, dude, this was probably the quietest year I've ever had. Like, not arguing with people, not like, hey, what the fuck, or blaming people. Like, I just got away from, like, the bad, and just started being around good guys who just, if you get an out, well, what the fuck you going to do? I can't yell at you. If you make an error, what are you going to do? I can't yell at you. It happens, man. You just got to pick each other up and just do your best out there. I mean, I played with guys who will yell at me for making a fucking error or if I don't go for my ball and shit like that. But it's like, dude, just let me play and I'll be all right. But I mean, everyone's different, you know.
Do you think you had a better season doing that last year?
With Hex or this year?
Like with Meatball playing wise, in terms of being quiet or not being kind of as hard on yourself or the guys around you. You think you play better because of that?
Oh yeah, I played way better. I feel like I didn't yell at no one, didn't even argue with my brother really, maybe once, but that's what brothers do, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I think I just like the best year I've ever had playing in a while. I feel like hitting wise, you know.
Yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but I was batting like 700. And, you know, I was just like, holy fuck, I'm playing good. I'm just staying to myself. I'm not trying to show this guy that I could fucking get on base all the time or feel like, you know, that pressure's on you.
I know one thing you started doing is actually hitting the ball hard to left center gap.
And I thank you for that. Thank you, because you're the one that encouraged me big time on that shit.
I know I've not yelled at you, but I told you the whole year on Hex, and you started doing it at the end. And, I mean, you know, when guys cheat you 150 feet, you got to go for that gap. I mean, it's just, you know, just the way it is. So I noticed last year you were doing it a lot more, and I look forward to seeing you doing it more because I enjoy.
I keep eating these cheeseburgers, I'm not going to be hitting anything.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I mean, you know, hey man, more power to you. Like it's another swing in your element, and you know, continue to get better. That's the whole key. So
yeah,
as you get older, you get smarter too. So Donnie doesn't know that yet. He's still
I agree with that.
Hey.
That was the best. Yeah, as we get older, we get smarter in this game too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We always talk about a business owner on the show, Jim. That's kind of one of our new segments. Popz is selling some vintage sportswear at the moment.
Yes, I do have a lot of vintage clothes, dude. A bunch of it. I have a lot.
Let's talk a little bit about that, Popz.
I mean, I got like old school, like Bulls jackets, Magic stuff that you know, when the Bulls championships, all that stuff, dude. I got toys and boxes.
Try to stay when I was young.
Yeah, I was when you were a little younger, you know, like those days.
With watching Wilt Chamberlain.
I got a bunch of vintage clothes, man. It's crazy. During COVID, a lot of people were selling shit, so I just kept buying everything. I was like, I'll buy that. So now I'm just stuck with it, but people do hit me up for it.
You know, Donnie, I'm in my young 40s, all right, my man?
Yeah, you don't age, man. That's awesome.
Gary West play basketball.
I think Uncle Jimmy's looked the same since I've met him, like fucking 12 years ago, 15 years ago. He's never aged. And it's crazy because I'm just like, what the fuck? You don't smoke. That's good.
Hey, when you look good, you look good. What can I say?
Yeah, true.
But, Popz, you know, so going into next year, I know we talked to your brother a little bit about, you know, Meatball's goals and things like that. What's your goal? I mean, obviously we all want to win tournaments and things like that, but what would be most satisfying for you to see Meatball do next season?
Well, one, probably win a tournament, but realistically, I mean, make a Sunday. You know, we did it this year. It was actually a good feeling because not a lot of teams like us or, you know, around can make a Sunday. You're playing really good teams, but if we could have like goals like that, hey, let's just try to see a Sunday. We get past the first game and work on things, you know, we try to win the Melrose League and win more games, and whatever we did wrong, we try to fix this year.
Right. So in order to make Sunday, obviously you got to have good players and you got to have people that are going to show up. So I know last year you guys struggled a little bit with commitment from some of your players. One who's no longer on your team, but I mean, there's nothing he could really do about it with his work schedule.
Yeah.
And that's obviously Marty. But I know you guys replaced him this year with some good young talent. You want to speak to them?
Yeah, Ian and Sean will be our outfielders, which I have always liked Sean. I played with him on Smack Out, and he plays hard. This kid Ian, I've seen him play a few times, and I was like, man, this kid's really good. And next thing you know, my brother's telling me he's coming to play with us, and I was excited. I'm like, all right, cool. Now we're doing some things. I mean, as for Jack and JR, that helps a lot too for the infield. Like, you know, sometimes there might be where I don't want to play, but that's really never happens. But stuff like that, you know, we got 18 guys now. So last year we only had about 12 or something. So it was like, damn, this is all we got. So now we have a little bit more to play with.
Right.
That's actually good. That's a good thing to have because some guys can barely, field a team during the week. You know, everyone comes for tournaments, which I think is bullshit, but I get it. Everyone, you know, we got lives. But I'm kind of excited about having 18 guys on our team now.
That's a lot.
No, I mean,
you know, that's good.
It's honestly, it's not a bad thing to have bodies, and if everyone understands their roles, it's, there's nothing you can really do about it. I mean, that's just great because I know last year you guys made it, I think, to the winners. No, not the winners bracket, semifinals, and you guys had like 9 guys because people had to leave to go to work. So
Yeah,
you were in the winners
Yeah.
bracket, and unfortunately, I get that, but it's nice to know that you have somebody that can step in that's might not be as good as your starter, but for that one game can play just as good or if not better than a starter. And I think that's why these bigger teams, they just have more depth, and unfortunately, that's they have better players for those reasons.
yeah.
So
Like they're
it's just, I see Meatball taking that next step based on what I've heard. I've heard you guys added, you said 18 guys, but you've also added some good young talent and good young players
yeah.
that, you guys are right at that mid-major level, in my opinion. You're looking right there at the, probably 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there if I had a guess.
Yep.
And you can definitely compete with everyone above you. That's not an issue.
And that's actually what I like. You know, I want us to be able to compete with the best because I really don't. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from A teams, but I'd rather play against, Hacks, Signature, 45s, Flash, and that's how you get better, because if you could play against the teams that you could beat all the time, that's not really fun, but
Right.
eventually you want to be like a 45 and a Flash and a Signature and all those teams like you guys, and just keep beating on teams like that.
Yep.
It'd be nice to be a team like that.
You guys slaughtered 45s last year, right? Or beat them pretty good in Melrose?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. They were missing a few guys, but like
Still.
the way I see it is their bench is still just as good as, like they're not skipping a beat with the team they have. But, but Nate did show up and almost saved them. So I was about to fucking be a little pissed off. Like, this is not happening right now. Fucking Nate can do this. So it's just, it was a good game. But yeah, we were excited about that because teams like us don't do that much.
Right.
Yep. That's cool.
I mean, and honestly, that only makes your confidence grow, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome, right? I mean, it's cool. So
I'll be honest. I thought we were gonna get our ass kicked a lot more this year, but I think we only got slaughtered maybe twice or 3 times. Maybe the Flash twice, and then 45s came back and beat our ass one time.
Yeah.
But like that, to me, that's not bad. We're not going out there and getting our ass kicked and shit like that.
Other
Like,
teams, everybody's getting slaughtered.
Yeah, everyone's
by.
getting slaughtered. Some, it don't matter who you are, but it sucks if it keeps happening. You're not having fun then, and that's how teams split up, and that's I don't like that. But you just got to stay together. Everyone's quick to leave now. It's not like old ways where, hey man, we got to keep riding it out. Let's go.
Right. No, that makes sense. What's your thoughts on softball right now? Some of the things that we've talked about with 12-inch and stuff like that, just trying to drive more teams. Is that something that would excite you guys? If we excite you as an individual to see more, if we can get more 12-inch teams that Donnie and I have been pushing to come play like a major national with a glove or that Iowa tournament that we go out to in Iowa. What do you think that would do for the game?
I actually like that idea. Play different guys now and different teams from out of different states. I know we do it when we go to Arizona and go to Iowa, but it'd be cool to get, like different teams like that where you're doing these 12-inch major teams. Like, yeah, I want to play them. Why not?
Right.
Do I want to play 12-inch? No, but I'm sure they'll understand that they could come play our game easier.
Yeah.
And to them, it'll be like, wow, we could hit bombs with this ball. But I mean, I like that idea a lot. And it's actually cool that you're doing that, reaching out to these guys who we would never even know if it wasn't for you, like kind of right now, getting them to try to come play a sport that we love to play.
True.
Yeah. No, I think that when you think about it, right, I mean, the 12-inch group and the 12-inch guys, I just think it's cool. And I mean, remember when Iowa started, and maybe, Popz, you probably know this, but when Iowa started, remember when you played an Iowa team, it was like, oh, they can't catch, they don't have a glove.
Yeah, it was.
Well, nowadays that's totally different. And it took time, but over the last, I'd say, probably 7 years, they really improved without a glove. And that's because it's more and more. So, you start getting some of these 12-inch teams to play 16-inch with a glove, and then they see it without a glove, just like Iowa, how it happened with Iowa, right?
Yeah.
And now, so I just think it's a way to grow the game. I'm not saying we're going to have 200 fucking teams in a tournament, like Kelly was mentioning to
It's
us,
insane,
but
isn't it?
That'd be cool.
we can get 10% of them. That's 20 teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not asking for a whole lot. Shit, I'll take 2%. Like 2%. Two new teams in a tournament would be cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, anything over 3 teams from these 12-inch guys, that's actually cool. Like even if they just say they did get 10 and we get 10 like teams, that's actually fun. 20
Yeah.
teams right there. I mean, you just split us up. We can't play each other. We got to play them. But that'd be cool actually.
Yeah.
Kind of the
Yeah.
part too is we play the same guys all the time. We
I
play
know, and
even
we
in
know
like
how to play each
football,
other. I know where Uncle Jimmy's gonna hit. I'm gonna try to steal his cut every time. I'm just gonna stand in left field.
Exactly. It would be nice to play some guys you don't really know. Like, even when we play Iowa, we've seen the guys from Chucks and we've seen the guys from Old Timers. We can kind of get used to those guys, but to see like a totally different world
Yeah.
of people would be really cool.
Well, that's how it is. It's like when we go to Arizona, but
Yeah.
now they know who we are. They know they know what we're doing
Right.
now. So it's like I remember this guy from 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But these Iowa teams are getting way better
Really
without
good.
this glove. Like that Chucks game that we played when we played Chucks at that
Midsummer.
Melrose, that tournament.
Yep.
Oh my God, I really thought, hey, you know what? I know they hit, but just hit the ball on the ground and wherever they're gonna miss it. These guys were catching everything. I was like, okay, they're getting better.
Well, I mean, I got a really good comment here from TJ. He says 7 years ago, nobody played without a glove anytime. Now all major teams play league at a minimum, no glove, and some tournaments without a glove. So to our point, and that's in Iowa, to our point, it's made a difference, right? And I think, with Kansas City, we just got lucky, I guess, Kansas City being one of the headquarters for the USSSA, where Kelly's out of, and she runs a lot of the tournaments. Maybe it is an option. We can get those teams to drive 3 hours to play in the Marshalltown tournament. And that's kind of, to start there. And then maybe, who knows, maybe they will come to major nationals.
I mean, that's actually cool because we could drive down to Iowa and they could drive up to Iowa and we're just like all halfway there,
Right. I mean, that Resmondo team, if they come to major nationals, like they've been kind of like what we've been talking with, with them, with Helmer and those guys, I think that'd be incredible. I really do. I think that'd be huge for the game. I think it's just the publicity, the media around them coming to play 16-inch softball, the best team in 12-inch. I think it would be awesome, right? And they're going to compete.
If we ship them balls soon, they're gonna be really good at this game.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I think that's going to be awesome. I God forbid. I mean, I know Donnie says his prayers every night because I think Donnie gets wet over Rismondo's 12-inch.
I get pretty excited.
But, who is that guy? Was he like some? I really don't know who he is like that.
Brett Elmer is probably one of the best 12-inch players of all time. So he was like the all-time hit leader for like 10 years, home runs, batting average, RBIs. There's a wall named after him in Disney because no one ever got all that far before.
He's right next to me, Popz.
I was gonna say he's like our Uncle Jimmy in softball, basically.
Just way better.
He's right next to me on the wall.
Way better than Jimmy. Yeah.
When I told him that on the show, he was shocked I knew about it. How about it, right, Donnie?
He was like easy, man, to get your name on a wall like that.
He's a really big deal. A really big deal.
And that's the guy that was on the live a couple days, maybe a week or two, right?
Yeah, he was about a month ago. Yeah.
Wow.
And so the next guy, I think next week we're gonna have Mike, and we're gonna try Mike again from Mike in Sports, and he's another gentleman who was a legendary 12-inch guy. They make bats over, he makes bats for Mike and stuff like that, and the senior tour and stuff. So, getting these guys involved with what we do, I think, is only a plus moving forward. And I understand that they have to play with a glove just because they're not familiar with the game, but so what? I mean, it's I enjoy playing with the glove at the end of the year. I think it's something different. It's cool. It's I mean, I play 3 glove tournaments now between Yuma, Iowa, and Nationals. So I don't know. To me, it's like you kind of become a little better hitter when you play with the gloves. You know?
Yeah, that actually, you test yourself out more like with the glove. It makes you better. I feel like
Yep.
hitting.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, no,
we all know Popz is elite with the glove too.
yeah.
I already got gloves, baby.
Yeah.
So, Donnie, do you have any questions for Popz before
That's
we hop them into the last
it.
question that we always ask everybody?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
So, Popz, last question we ask everyone on the show. Change one thing in softball to make the game better. What would it be?
I liked Marty Dolzen's idea. It's pretty cool. I was always thinking like kind of something like this too. You get just say like me and Donnie, we played at Genera for a long time. We get like an all-star team from each park, and you represent your park and something like that, or different depending on how many guys would do it. You do different divisions, just say you got like Hamlin Park, you could get maybe 2-3 divisions of all-stars from that park, and then we do one big tournament or something, and we just meet it. That I always wanted to do something like that. You get your best guys from your park that you played in, grew up. You still got
Right.
Harrison Park. You got a lot of parks if you think about it. It'd be cool to do something like that.
Yeah, I had an idea last year. It's similar to that. I wanted to take 8 north side, 8 south side parks of their A leagues, and those teams play in a one single elimination tournament to crown the park national championship for that season,
Oh, wow.
and build those entry fees into those park leagues. So that was something I brought up last year. I started calling. Unfortunately, with the project I had going on, I just didn't have enough time to do it, and then obviously kids, wife, and everything else. It's just my time is sliced thin nowadays. So
Yeah.
I would love for someone to do that idea. I would be a huge supporter with that. Even if we played the park leagues and we had a single elimination tournament in the dome, I would be all for that. I mean, if we couldn't find a park outside, I know some park leagues don't end until after Labor Day, some of them, just because of rainouts and everything else.
Yeah.
But if we picked eight Southside, like Kennedy Park,
Yeah.
like Oak Lawn, some of the other good Southside leagues, Mount Greenwood.
Well, saves a lot of teams and a lot of fields.
Right, and
A lot
then
of
you
parks.
you get 8, maybe you get 6 and 6, and then you hand pick the next 4. However you do it, I think it'd be cool. I mean, that way you got a team from Hamlin Park A League playing a team from Kennedy Park A League,
Yeah.
and they're playing in a tournament. You know what I mean? Or you have Harrison Park A League playing the Berwyn A League,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. And it's built in. These teams' entry fees are all built into their league. So if they win the league, they get an automatic bid to play in this tournament, and it's not extra cost to them. And how we do it is we work with the parks to get the additional $200 or $150, whatever we charge to run the tournament, and then have that single elimination tournament. I think it'd be something that's pretty cool. I talked to a handful. I literally called a handful of parks last year. I got all positive feedback, but unfortunately, I didn't have time to make it all happen. But the thing is the idea is out there. I know we can get sponsors to do that.
Yeah.
I know it'd be cool. And
I
we
can
call it
always
the
help.
World Series of the Park. You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
lot of publicity too. That's a
I
lot
like that.
that tournament covers.
Yeah.
There was another idea someone said about and I forgot. It was I don't know who had a good idea about something, but if it's too late now, I'm fucking lost on it.
That's okay. Do you have any questions for Donnie or I?
No, I thank you guys for what you're doing though. It's pretty fun, get everyone's different opinion and stuff, and we needed something like this. You guys, it's not a podcast, but it's better. It's cooler. It's cooler. It would be cool though if someone could do that next year, like pretty much like an ESPN, but for softball.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this person, we have guys like that, but it's just I know it's time consuming. It's hard.
You're on it right now, Popz. You're on the ESPN.
Dude, I have so many great ideas for softball too. I just can't. I can't. I got to.
Hey, as we continue to grow, that's the key is just to keep continuing to grow and grow the game and talk about softball. And the more people we bring involved with it, you never know where we can go with this. But Donnie and I do this for fun, as many of you guys know.
Yeah.
We've had people reach out to us already about sponsors. So it's something that Donnie and I are going to talk about here probably into the new year. maybe having some sponsors and some things. And, once the bar gets open out there, we're going to do some live shows from there as well. I'll have a stage and everything else that we can do some live shows. So I think it'd be cool. It's just something different. We have some ideas that we haven't really brought up yet. And I think, I like I said, I like to continue to make things happen, and you never know. I mean, never know what could happen. So.
No, yeah, if you guys ever need help too, I mean, I'm always there to spread the word too. I love the game just as much as you guys.
Yep. Absolutely, man. That's why we appreciate it. So, dude, I look forward to playing against you soon, and I'll see you Friday night.
All right, brothers. Good night, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you. Thanks,
Bye.
man.
Yeah, he's always a good talk, right? I mean, loves the game.
Loves the game. He watches the show a lot too. So what a great guest. And we got to talk about his small business of selling some vintage merch.
Yeah, because I know we asked Shane Lawler.
Yeah.
Shane Lawler unfortunately wasn't able to join us tonight. He told us earlier this morning. And then at that point, it was a couple other guys that in softball that we asked. So hopefully next week we'll be able to fill that. But kind of Popz filled that role tonight, I felt like.
I've got
he
one.
He did a little bit of both. Yeah, he did a little bit of both.
Yeah,
which is awesome. Do you have anything you want to chit-chat about? We got a couple minutes left here before we get off the air.
I got one big thing that's going around right now.
Sure.
We have I know we took a break from this for a couple weeks, but we have Rumor Mill. We were talking about some of the Smackout guys getting back together, Jim, but
Yep.
It looks like we're going to have CJ, Joe, and potentially Chapo go over and play with Iron next year.
Yeah, that is I believe a confirmed rumor. Yes, I've heard that. I don't know if that's official, but I believe it is, and I think that addition helps them tremendously.
A lot with that young group of kids that they have, and then the veterans that they keep around just to kind of keep them up and keep around for different positions and stuff. And then you add CJ, good pitcher, kind of go with Beckman, who pitched great last year for Iron, and then Will goes to hold down the first base side. That's a really nice couple additions for that Iron team.
And I heard they had an addition coming back from a couple of years ago, the lefty. I can't think of his name. He played with them maybe. He didn't play with them last year. He played with them the year before. He was one of their better players. I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's a lefty. He's pretty fast, hits the ball pretty good. You would probably know him if I said his name, and I'm drawing a blank on his name because he had some commitment issues showing up. Mm-hmm. But I heard he's coming back full blown, which is awesome. So nice. since you got a rumor mill, I got one too. So the SSAA Nationals last year, the team that won the A Nationals, the Demons. There's a good chance that they might not have a team next year, which is pretty sad.
Wow.
Yeah, so I know they got a meeting coming up this weekend, and hopefully they'll be able to fix some of the things that are going on with that squad. And I know they had a talented team last year. I mean, they stepped up at the major tournaments, and they were competing with major teams too. So
I played on Peter's team for Thanksgiving. So Coach Peter, I know he said they're trying to work some stuff out, Jim. I know that Joey D, who played with them last year, went to Menace. And is going to play with Menace in the Dome on Friday. And then Colin, their left fielder, potentially on the move to Menace as well. So trying to maybe save a relationship there.
And I heard that if that does happen, I don't know if there's going to be a Demons next year. I hope not. I mean, I hope they do stay around. Yeah. I mean, we need teams that, especially that win an A National. We need them to come back and continue to improve. And they have some nice young pieces on that team.
I agree. All good guys, guys that I've played with a whole lot. We love Peter and would love for him to chime in if he's got any information about that. Maybe come next week's show and maybe give us some info about that meeting and see if Demons is going to stay together. But, interesting to see the big pickups for Iron to make them a whole lot better. And then Demons, if they stay together, those are two big news in like that A-ball category, which we don't speak about a lot. Right.
So I know Steve-O just dropped a good comment in there saying that he would volunteer and contribute for the Park Championship tournament that I discussed. What do you like about that idea? I don't think I've ever told you that before, but that was something that I was trying to work on.
I love Steve-O, by the way. He's one of my favorite guys. We love that idea. I know Marty Dozen talked about it, just kind of putting together all-star teams from each park. what
See,
a
this is
great.
different. This is not all-star teams, though.
Oh, that's just kind of like teams from different parks playing against each other.
This is the teams that win their
Yeah,
park league
that's awesome.
playing. I mean,
Love it.
obviously, people have to be honest about the roster. You can't go and pick up major players, right? But
Right.
I mean, if there's a major player that plays on that park team 24/7, and you know they do,
Yep.
it's almost a roster check for the league. I mean, every league usually got to hand in a
Yep.
roster, so
That would
there's
be
no reason why.
yeah.
And I think it'd be cool. I think you get, if you can make it 16 teams and you do a single elimination tournament and you crown a park champion for the year, just like we do a major championship and an 8 championship. It's something different,
That's
and
a
there's
really
no
cool
reason why
idea.
we can't do it.
Yeah, the only problem would be that guys would potentially with the roster check stuff, right? Oh man, we're losing a guy this game. Why don't we take someone else from the league and put him on our team, right? We have to have some sort of accountability for those teams, if that makes sense.
Right, and that's I think where the rosters come in,
Yeah.
right? So you have to hand over a roster. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, we can obviously iron out the details, but I think the overall idea is there. We got to find, someone that maybe would want to, I'd like to bring that to the SSA. That's one of my ideas if I ever get a board meeting that I've been waiting on for a long time. And I yell at Patty every time I talk to him. But, Patty does a lot, and I love Patty. You know that. I've always been a supporter of Patty. So it's just, I just hope that we can do something about it. Now, I see Dave Padilla in here. You're right about the roster. People will just want to, cheat. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's always an option, right? But overall, I think it'd be really cool. And even if you did, I just think the All-Stars thing would be tough, right? Because then now these parks are all loading up, and it just becomes a major tournament at that point. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think this gives some of your, I think there was an A team at Berwyn this year. What were they called? Young Guns, or there was something at Berwyn, or it was like I think Robbie played on the team. They wanted
Are you talking about metal? Are you talking about metal
huh?
right now? Are you talking about metal? Metal's my brother and I run a team at Genera, and we won it 2 years in a row. So
In the A league or the B? Well, they have a B league, which
I
is
think
their
we're
A league.
one of those leagues in there.
Yeah,
I think we're in the
I
B
don't think
league.
they have an A league, do they? Berwyn, they just run a B league and below.
I think there's an A league over there. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be
Oh,
awesome if we can get.
yeah, I know you're talking
So
about.
I mean, so Donnie, like I said, maybe we could talk offline. But I mean, I could probably get a corporate sponsor to donate $5,000 or $10,000 for that. We could make a prize pool out of that. Take the entry fees, and basically pay the arms, pay the insurance, pay the park, and and then obviously run the tournament. And the cool thing about it is, it's only what is it? It'd be what 8 games. It'd be 15 games, and you're done.
Yeah, we can get that done in 2 days.
We'll get it done in one
In one
day. Are
day.
you kidding me?
Yeah,
16,
sure.
16 teams.
Oh yeah,
You done in one day.
one day that'd be really cool.
I mean, if we did it in the dome, it'd be a little different. But
Yeah,
if we did it at a park,
yeah, with
with
multiple fields.
3 or 4 fields, shit, we could pick a new park every year. Go one on the north side, one on the south side, one on the north side, one on the
Yeah,
south side. I mean, Kennedy Park, they have a gazillion fields. Hammond Park, do you have 3 or 4 fields? We could easily do that and knock it out one day.
yeah. Popz makes a good point. Genera has 3 fields too.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. So we'll put that on a post-it note, and it'll be something that we can discuss here, and maybe we'll make it happen. Who knows? Maybe you have you can run with it.
I'm in. I love it.
And you'll have my support.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that as always. I saw my brother just jumped on the chat. It's his 22nd birthday, so I got to give a shout out to Shane for his birthday. So happy birthday to the kid. Other than that,
Happy birthday, Shane. Hopefully you're better looking than your brother.
very much so, yeah. That's it for me, Jim.
That's all I got, my man. We will be live Friday night
Yeah.
at the tournament.
Yep.
I know, Donnie, you're going to be live streaming games with me.
Yep.
As I'm running all over the place as I normally am at the dome.
Yep.
But yeah, well, I'm excited for that, and I think we're going to get our producer Kyle. I got to reach out to him tomorrow and make sure he's out there, making sure that the lighting's good and everything's good on his end. So
he's the producer for a reason.
yes, he is. So hopefully he brings his case of beer, and we're good to go.
Yeah,
so I'm excited about that Friday night. I think it'll be a cool environment for those 5 new teams that are joining in. I think they'll like the facility. Hey, the parking lot's all done now. There's no more dirt. It's all paved. It's nice and smooth. So it's all done. Working on obviously getting electricity done for the bathrooms and things like that. But hey, we're getting there one step at a
Yep.
time. So
Work in progress, but it's a really nice place, and hopefully everybody treats it with respect this weekend.
yeah, that's for sure. And we will be live Friday night, so we'll see everyone then.
Yes, sir. Jimmy,
Peace,
we'll see
man. Appreciate it, Donnie. See you later.